But I also think it throws you back to a happy place in your life. It reminds you of being a little kid, bouncing on the bed, or maybe doing something you're not supposed to be doing. I don't know what the true psychology behind all that is, but I know that I've never met anybody that's done the JumpSport trampoline that hasn't come off of it with a big smile on their face, feeling really energized and awake.
Yeah. Do you do, I'm sure you've done this before, but do you do like a group training on the trampoline? What's your experience in that?
It is extremely popular. Group fitness and using the trampoline as a component of group fitness is one of the fastest growing segments in group fitness right now. Mm-hmm. We are growing exponentially across the United States in terms of its popularity and its diversity. So you may see one group class doing a very dance-based, high BPM, beats per minute, dancey, choreographed, 8-count, amazing kicks, and you're just like, how are they doing that? I personally enjoy more HIIT training. I like a time-based program. I like a very simple movement catalog that people can do for a certain amount of time, all-out effort for them. So I can train a very deconditioned person right next to an Olympic athlete. They can both do the exact same exercise, the same program, and both get a great workout, because it's really not about how many you do. It's about 30 seconds and short recovery. Yeah. And I do that over and over. And I do an exercise that they can do as proficiently as they can, as fast as they can do it. Mm-hmm. So like I said, those same two athletes, somebody who barely can, do, again, they need to be able to get through the 30 minutes or 45 minutes of workout. Yeah. But that person can be right next to somebody who can go twice as fast as them. And at the end of it, they can both be like, hey, this was amazing.
Yeah. What would you say to someone just starting on the trampoline? They just got it in the mail today. And what's the first thing they should do besides set it up properly?
Well, once you set it up, make sure that you find proper instruction. So one thing that JumpSport does is we have a streaming site called JumpSport TV. And on there, we have over 200 videos from basics and beginner exercising all the way up to level 5, hardcore, over-the-top stuff where if you want to do a full hour of all-out kind of expenditure, there's programming that will accommodate you. But for the beginner, I think you just need to understand the basics, how to safely get on and off of it, mm-hmm. how to properly utilize it. Start with some basic moves, down bounce, feet wide, feet close, jumping jack feet, or cross country, so front to back or side to side. No arms, don't even need to incorporate any of that at first. Just make sure you feel comfortable and start out slow. Mm-hmm. I always tell people, if you can do only 2 minutes, do 2 minutes, but try to do it 5 times today. So you get in 10 minutes of exercise. People seem to think I have to do 30 minutes or 40 minutes or an hour of exercise. No, it's cumulative. So if I consistently do a couple of minutes multiple times a day, I'm still getting more activity than if I do nothing.
Yeah.
So again, start slow, get good instruction, make sure you understand the safety protocols of using the product that you're using, no matter what it is. And remember, listen to your body.
I think when I first got my trampoline, I did the down bounce. Mm-hmm. Where, you were deliberately sort of get low and push into the...
Correct, like a toddler throwing a tantrum.
That's a workout, as opposed to just jumping and letting the trampoline take you up and down, like deliberately pushing
Correct.
On the floor.
And that's what it's designed for as a workout tool. What you were doing, the other one you were describing is what we call a free bounce, mm-hmm. where you're letting the trampoline do most of the work. And the funny thing about that is you're still getting benefits, because as you're getting compression, your body's contracting and releasing, contracting and releasing.
Yeah, so it's really the contraction and the release, like you said.
Well, it's muscle. When you do that, you're recruiting muscle to stabilize. When you're being compressed, your body has to stabilize itself so that it doesn't get shot off the trampoline. By subconsciously, it will do it. So you're going to recruit more muscle. So in essence, even if you're doing that on the trampoline for 5 minutes, is going to be beneficial in terms of cardiovascular and muscularity.
Yeah. Going back to the swimming comparison, part of the reason I think of swimming and rebounding, as they call it, similarly, because you can use them both as recovery tools.
Okay, so the beautiful thing about the JumpSport product is in the pool, right? You're buoyant because it's going to have less effect on your body in terms of being able to do things that helps your body recover because of the non-impactive nature. So the JumpSport also has a non-impactive feature, which again is reducing ground impact by about 80% or up to 80%, I like to say. Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less, depending on what you're doing. But truthfully, it's somewhere in that range. The reason the recovery on it is good, and there's many, many books about active recovery. So no matter what you're doing, you could jump on your trampoline and do active recovery. So let's say you were doing jump rope and you were out of breath and you're dying. So I just jump up on the trampoline and I just start to do gentle free bounce, like you said. That one wasn't the down bounce, but just letting the trampoline do most of the work. So it's non-impactive per se in its iteration and the way it performs, right? So it's reducing all that impact. So you're not complicating or acerbating what you've already done to yourself, number one. You're recruiting more muscle tissue and you're creating a natural pump that helps push all of those toxins that are produced during hard exercise through your system or through your lymphatic system in order to cleanse your body and be able to recover quicker from what you just did to it, right? So the less impact, activation of your lymphatic system and your, basically your garbage system that gets rid of all of the byproducts of exercise or heavy exercise. Okay?
So that's part of the recovery process, is flushing out, or I guess cycling those toxins out is what you're saying.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's also the non-impactive nature of it, right?
Yeah.
And there's many, many books, and I don't want to we could drill down into what active recovery is all about, but there's multiple publications that if you just search active recovery and what that means and why it's more beneficial, it's just another component that you're doing on this platform, which is non-impactive or low impactive in terms of the way you're approaching. I mean, you could ride a bike. You see guys on the sidelines that they go run in a game and then they're on the sideline pedaling on a bike.
Yeah.
That's considered active recovery. So you're still moving at a much slower rate, keeping your heart rate engaged, and your body's able to process all of those toxins through your system much quicker. And that's why you recover so much faster.
I think of it like if someone has like a knee injury, I feel like the trampoline would be a good spot to get back into it. That's
more rehabilitative in terms of its use. So we have handlebars and stuff so you can reduce the load that you're doing, but also the non-impactive nature of it is not going to put impact on an already damaged joint or connective tissue or soft tissue. So that's the benefit of using this platform in that kind of arena in rehabilitation or recovery from an injury. So that's a different thing than active recovery from exercise.
Okay, I was kind of thinking recovery and rehab is sort of the same thing, but they're different.
Well, I mean, you could use the term I'm recovering from an injury.
Right.
And so in that capacity, the trampoline is great because of the non-impactive nature. It's also adjustable. People say to me, why is it important to be able to adjust my trampoline? Well, there's two reasons. Number one, personal preference. Like you and I may be different. We might enjoy a different feel while we're exercising. We might be different size human beings. So I want to have the same feel that you do on the platform while we're doing a specific type of programming. So that gives you that particular ability, is to make it personal to yourself. Number two is I can change weight capacity. So let's say I have multiple users on one platform, right? One person weighs 120 pounds and one person weighs 200 pounds. The same two people can use this platform by adjusting the tension of that product so that they can both participate in the same programming and get the same experience. The third thing is longevity. Let's say I get it. I love it just the way it is. And as I start to use it, the bungee cord starts to stretch out and it gets a little softer and I don't like it anymore. So now I tighten it up again and it goes right back to its factory setting and I can continue to have the same experience for a much longer period of time.
So the product lasts longer.
Right.
With the adjustable cords. What about all the different like accessories? You mentioned the handlebar. I've seen them like stacked on top of each other. Lots of different ways to do it.
So the stacking feature is unique to the JumpSport trampoline, JumpSport platform. And the reason that is because of the curved leg design. And we've incorporated technology that allows you to not only stack them, but use them while they're stacked. So you can stack 1, 2, 3. We recommend usually no more than 12 in a stack so that it makes it easy to get on and off of it. But
I mean, 12 is pretty high. That would take you.
yeah, I mean, if you could jump up on a 12 stack of trampolines, that would be amazing. But I've seen people do some pretty amazing things, but they are usable stacked.
Okay.
You could do, remember we talked about you'd be able to do push-ups or dips or things on a single trampoline. Let's just say you're not conditioned enough to be able to get down that low on the ground, right? And get your feet out in front of you and put one foot in the air and do these crazy dip movements while you're in a class format. So I need to reduce gravity. And how do I do that? I raise the level of the stack of trampolines, and now the person that's doing the dip isn't experiencing the same load as the person that's low to the ground.
Right.
So the stacked capacity allows you to regress exercises. It also allows you to progress exercises in the form of jump box. So let's say you start with one trampoline and you jump from the ground onto the trampoline surface that's 12 inches tall, and that's amazing. Well, now I want to go to the next level. So maybe I stack 2 or 3 or 5, and I can use it as a jump box to jump up onto and jump off of or step off of if possible.
Yeah.
So that you don't impact. But here's what I tell people. If you could jump up on 12, what I do is put one down on the ground so that when you jump off of that stack, you land on a nice soft trampoline. Right? So you're not going to jump to the ground. You're going to jump down to another trampoline, and then you're going to learn to jump so that when you land, that you have soft knees and you land down onto that bottom trampoline without really causing a lot of trauma to your knees and back, and decelerate all that energy into your legs. So that's another component of being able to utilize the trampoline surface as not only to reduce the impact, but also another component of your workout, because you had to decelerate that energy, and that's called eccentric force. So as it pushes down and as it tries to return to its flat surface, your body has to decelerate all of that energy.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. When you're that high, you don't want to just
jump onto the ground.
That's too much.
Although people do, and I wonder, I shake my head. So
I mean, it's a lot of impact, and some people don't. If they're younger, they don't realize. Like if I think of like a skateboarder jumping off a tall, ledge or rail, they're going right to the ground. They're not. They don't have that kind of
it depends
impact.
on what you're training for. I always say train for what you're doing. If you're not training to jump onto the ground and your whole thing is just to have explosive movement, and you're teaching yourself to be explosive, the jump box is a great tool for that, especially as an athlete.
So what are all the different sports you could train for with the trampoline?
Well, I always tell people it's a platform.
Okay.
So any exercises that you can do in the same space, and we have 2 platform sizes, 39 and 44 inches. I've had volleyball players, soccer players, basketball players, football players.
When you said 39 and 44, that's the width.
So the width, the circumference of the frame itself, and then the jumping surface is somewhat smaller than that, but still within that confine, you can pretty much do anything. You can do plyometrics, you can do jumping, you can do hop on one leg, you can do single-legged work, you can do balance work. The features and the diversity of the programming that you can apply to this is only limited by the space that you're doing it in, right? And the benefits are non-impactive nature, the adjustability factor, so I could make it firmer or tighter, I guess, to accommodate somebody who was doing a different type of exercise. I've probably left that one out in the last time we talked about why to adjust it. But really, any sport where you have drills or certain types of movements that could be done on that platform are going to be benefited by doing it there.